All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something pretty radical in medicine. It's this new science that shows how our deepest feelings, stress, trauma, even loneliness, don't just feel bad. They are physically reshaping our bodies, all the way down to our genes. This idea right here, this is our starting point. It's the powerful suggestion that all those physical symptoms, the aches, the pains, the illnesses we all deal with, are often a voice for emotional pain that we haven't been able to speak out loud. And that really leads us to the central mystery we're going to unpack today. When you feel that weight of stress or the deep ache of sadness, where does the feeling stop and your biology begin? Well, as we're about to see, there might not be a line at all. For centuries, medicine basically treated the mind and the body like two totally separate things. Psychology was over here, internal medicine was way over there. But that wall, it's completely crumbling. We're stepping into this new world of mind-body medicine, where we can literally measure how our mental states create real molecular signals in our bodies. Okay, so our investigation starts with the most famous culprit of them all, stress. But we're not talking about stress just as a bad feeling. No, we're talking about stress as a physical, biological event that we can actually track inside the body. So, your body has this brilliant, absolutely ancient alarm system. It's called the HP axis. It was designed to help you survive, say, a lion attack by flooding you with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The problem is, it was never designed to handle the constant, low-grade threat of deadlines, traffic, and an inbox that never, ever sleeps. And this brings up a really critical point. A short burst of stress, that's actually healthy for you. It sharpens your focus, gets you ready for action. But chronic stress, that's a whole different beast. That's when the alarm system gets stuck in the on position, and that's when it gets dangerous. And we're not talking about some vague feeling of being worn out. The effects of constantly high cortisol are real, they are physical, and we can measure them. It can weaken your immune system, mess with your sleep, increase belly fat, and get this, it can even shrink the parts of your brain responsible for memory. So here's the bottom line on this. This is not all in your head. It's a concrete biological state called endocrine overload. It's something a doctor can literally see in your blood work and on brain scans. The feeling is real because the biology is 100% real. But the story goes so much deeper than just the stress of daily life. Our next clue shows how really profound emotional experiences from our past can leave a lasting physical fingerprint on us. And this brings us to the absolutely fascinating field of epigenetics. Okay, think of it like this. Your DNA is the hardware you're born with, but your life experiences, they're the software. A traumatic event can actually install new programs that flip genetic switches on or off, changing how your body functions for the rest of your life. And what's incredible is that scientists can now see these changes. People who've gone through significant trauma often show these really distinct biological signatures. Their bodies are in a constant state of low-grade inflammation, their stress response is on a hair trigger, and the very expression of their genes, it's been altered. This really gets to the core of it all. A traumatic event isn't just a bad story you carry around in your mind. It becomes your biology. It's a physical state that your body is living in every single day. Now, just when you think you've got the case solved, it's stress, it's trauma, a surprise witness shows up in our investigation, and it's located in a place you would never expect: your gut. So let me ask you a question. When you think about where your feelings come from, happiness, sadness, you probably point to your head, right? Your brain. But what if I told you that's only a tiny part of the story? Take a look at this number, 90%. That is a huge number. Just let that sink in for a second before I tell you what it is, because the answer is probably going to surprise you. Yeah, 90% of your body's serotonin, that's the feel-good chemical we always associate with the brain, is actually made in your gut. This discovery completely turns our understanding of mood upside down. So how is this even possible? It's because of something called the gut-brain axis. It's a literal information superhighway, this massive nerve called the vagus nerve that physically connects the trillions of bacteria in your gut directly to your brain. This means your mind isn't just floating around up there. It is physically wired right into your digestive system. So we've seen the evidence. We've seen how our emotions are linked to our biology through stress, trauma, and even our gut. So now let's talk about the verdict, the real-world consequences, and more importantly, the scientific path to healing. See, the consequences of this sustained emotional overload, they aren't mysterious at all. They often show up as some of the most common chronic diseases of our time, things like high blood pressure, IBS, autoimmune conditions, and chronic pain. In every single one of these cases, the body is keeping score. And this is leading to a revolution in medicine. Doctors are starting to get that they can't just treat the biological symptoms. They have to understand the patient's biography, their life story, what they've lived through, to really understand the full picture of their health. Now, the good news is that science also shows us the way toward healing. And as you can see here, the things that help have real, measurable biological effects. Getting enough sleep isn't just rest, it's an anti-inflammatory and cortisol-stabilizing treatment. Slow, deep breathing, that directly activates the vagus nerve to calm your entire system down. And this is so important. We need to completely reframe how we see these practices. Things like mindfulness, good sleep, and social connection, these aren't just soft ideas. They are powerful biological interventions that create real, measurable, physiological change in your body. So ultimately, when someone says, oh, it's all in your head, modern science has a very clear response. The head is inside the body. Your body absolutely keeps score. And your immune system, right down to the molecular level, it definitely remembers. And this leaves us with one final, pretty profound question. We've seen how our own experiences can reshape our biology. But is it possible that those changes, those molecular fingerprints of trauma, could actually be passed down to the next generation? We're going to explore that unsettling idea in our next explainer.